Yo, this is the Foul Hooked Whitey. I'm back. Part 2, the Bighorn Apocalypse. I left off with the absurd suggestion that it's time to assess how much traffic you're going to allow on the world-class fishery, the Bighorn River in Montana. The path to that, at least to the Foul Hooked Whitey, is by rewarding the fly fishing outfitting entities in Bighorn County, because they're the ones that have built up a solid, credible, professional fly fishing outfitting entities in and around the town of Fort Smith or Hardin. That's the core of where the pros are. Outfitters, I believe, have to log every trip with every client and every guide that they sponsor in their season. So it wouldn't be that hard to determine who does the real volume there. There could be a simple process in which all these entities that want to professionally guide on the Bighorn River in Montana submit who they are, their history on that fishery, their dates on that fishery, and make their case that my outfitter number should be included in who gets the fucking privilege to outfit and guide on that fishery. That's not hard to find. There's probably anywhere in an uneducated assessment, which is the entire content of this media. It's not hard to find out who does the real business on that river. And in the Foul Hooked Whitey's opinion, they get first dibs. Dibs on what? Dibs on the number of outfitting dates that would be determined based on a credible, signed off, and I mean signed off by Fish and Game, Outfitters Association, public access advocates, as a number that's fair to begin the intelligent management of this fishery. Once you have that number, you can look at this outfitter who did 3,000, 4,000, 2,500 trips on it this year. I don't know the fucking numbers. But I know some of these guiding entities, these motherfuckers put out 6, 8, 10, 12 boats a day. And there's 4 or 5 or 6 that have the volume to do that. And those aren't cats coming over from Bozeman or cats coming from, the Missouri or even Wyoming. That's that core outfitter that has serviced that river for 3 to 4 decades. And in 90% of all cases, represented it well. Took care of that fishery. Picked up trash. Called out motherfuckers fishing on reds. If you want to know who a caretaker of a river is, I'm telling you straight up, it's fucking guiding entities. Credible guides take care of their fishery. Don't you take care of your workplace? But letting this fishery, which is guided a lot, be guided by all the fringe outfitting entities out there, fuck that. It's official. We're at the fuck that stage. The Bighorn Apocalypse, yo. There's no way to make everybody happy when it comes to limiting access to a fishery. But it's time, in the Foul Hooked Whitey's opinion, to get the right outfitting entities to be able to stand up and get prioritized in being able to put an X amount of days on that river. They're priority one. How do you do it? Fuck, I don't know. I know. But it's a math thing. And it's the way to justify it to the outfitters that would hopefully sign off on this type of strategy. There could be some outfitters that put on a modest amount of days on it that could get squeezed out of that. And I'm not even saying that guides that are properly licensed in the state of Montana that make their practices on other fisheries can't guide on it. But to guide on it, they got to go through those fucking outfitters that were given a certain amount of trips to work on that fishery. And what the fuck is wrong with that? This is our playground, motherfucker. You got yours. Foul Hooked Whitey's not trying to hurt anybody's pocketbook here. But as there's an expansion to the space in the Rocky Mountains, there's not going to stop more people from coming here. More will come, and Montana and Wyoming will get more populated. Hopefully not terrible, like pockets of Idaho. But it's going to happen. And to control, reward outfitters that have done a great job on that river based on past business, past documented business. There's a lot of sense in starting to discuss that. And that starts with that study. What's a reasonable amount of boat traffic on the Bighorn River that needs to take place? There's nonprofits on the Bighorn River in Montana. Some are faith-based, some are probably guide schools. I don't know if a guide school is a nonprofit, but there's other entities that increase traffic on the Bighorn River that are going to definitely be part of this discussion. There's outfitting that goes on the Bighorn River that doesn't involve client to outfitter payment. It involves respite, team building angles, some of which are faith-based, that also adds traffic with dollars involved on the Bighorn River. This is a new phenomena when it comes to increased traffic based on a more interesting dollar scenario. Why does the dollar scenario matter? Because that's the motivation for 60 to 70, 75% of all the traffic on the Bighorn River in Montana. Dollar. Well, yeah, public's on it plenty. Fuck yeah. But the traffic, especially the fiberglass traffic, is the outfitting. So when you take a stress fishery that's already being hoarded out by anybody that can get somebody to pay them $700 to float it, it's the Foul Hooked Whitey's opinion. that the nonprofits take a back seat in that trip allotment. Why? Because at minimum, it's not normal outfitting. It's outfitting that involves donation-based revenue. Huh? Like I said, this is a new phenomenon when it comes to increased traffic on a blue ribbon Montana fishery. Some of this donation-based business model isn't in the hundreds of thousands. It's in the millions. Millions. Foul Hooked Whitey is not here suggesting a separation of church and fly fishing. No. But some of these more successful nonprofit organizations have executives making hundreds of thousands of dollars per annum. You know who makes hundreds of thousands of dollars in the sport of fly fishing? Nobody. And if you're getting paid that much money to create a donation-based existence and outfit all at the same time, you would have to justify your role and your allotment on that fishery. Thirdly, the entity that's out there that has also put a lot of pressure on that fishery, and rightfully so, it's theirs. That's the public. And the public on this fishery are the ones that leave worm containers on the bank, spent shotgun shells just all over a side channel from the waterfowl seasons. The public should have to pony up. Right now, the Bighorn River in Montana is worthy, in the Foul Hooked Whitey's opinion, of having to charge, make somebody pay a little bit to fish that specific fishery. It's just a suggestion. Some of the bigger volume outfitting entities on that fishery pay a pittance of whatever they pay to work on it. compared to the gross they receive by outfitting the Bighorn River. Those nonprofits pay virtually nothing to that fishery, although their business model based on that fishery generates millions. The smartest thing that I've seen in my scope of fisheries is the canyon permit, the Wind River Range permit that's required to fish that tribal ground. I'm not saying that it should be ridiculous to fish the Bighorn River in Montana, but a $10 a year stamp, a $5, a $15, a $12 price of a latte to get the privilege to float or wade fish that fishery. That's just where we're at. Nothing the Foul Hooked Whitey is saying needs to happen now, because it won't. This is a sensitive subject matter with a lot of stake and a lot of entities involved. It all starts with that study, with that assessment, with that brainstorming. It all starts there. The Foul Hooked Whitey encourages the powers that be, Montana Fish and Game, the Bighorn River Alliance, and the Montana Outfitters Association to start drafting an understanding of if this fishery is ready to bust. That's all I got. I am the Foul Hooked Whitey. The Bighorn Apocalypse is here. And I'm out.